Motion carried. And I'd like to thank those fine young men and women who joined the ranks of the Mahopac Volunteer Fire Department, or Mahopac Volunteer Fire Department, if Greg Armando's watching. Thanks for joining the Volunteer Fire Department. It's a good service to the community, and you won't regret it. Okay, next resolution, number 4, is a resolution authorizing adopting revised Town of Carmel election district map. Councilman Borelli, would you read 4, please?
Whereas the Lake Seacourt Community House has been eliminated as a polling location within the town of Carmel, and whereas as a result of growth and redistribution of population, it becomes necessary periodically to alter and reconfigure the election districts within the town of Carmel, so as to ensure that each election district does not contain more than the maximum number of registered voters permitted by law. Whereas as a result of the foregoing, a new election district map for the town of Carmel has been prepared. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Carmel hereby adopts the map entitled Election District Map Town of Carmel, dated October 2019, as the official election map of the town of Carmel. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 5, is a resolution authorizing payment for the purchase of clay for Sycamore Park baseball fields. Councilman Schneider, would you read 5, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon recommendation of Town of Carmel Director of Recreation and Parks, James R. Gilchrist, hereby authorizes acceptance of proposal and payment for delivery of ball field clay to the Sycamore Park ball fields to Carry Area Materials LLC of Port Chester, New York, in the amount of $9,082.50 in accordance with the invoice/proposal dated August 10, 2019. And be it further resolved, the Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers or modifications required to fund the cost of this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 6, is a resolution authorizing release of retainage and substitution of bond for Carmel Water District Number 9 distribution system upgrades, contract C-242. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 6, please?
Shall resolve that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes release of contract retainage on the above contract to Brennan Construction Company in relation to the above contract in the amount of $64,820.38. And be it further resolved that such release of contract retainage is subject to and expressly conditioned upon the receipt of properly executed releases of liens from Brennan Construction Company, Inc., its subcontractors, etc., together with a duly executed affidavit of no liens from Brennan Construction Company, Inc., as well as all other documents required by the contract C-242, specifications in regard to final payment as in form acceptable to Town Council. And be further resolved that such release of contract retainage is further subject to and conditioned upon receipt of a duly executed maintenance bond guaranteeing and indemnifying the Town of Carmel and Carmel Water District Number 9 against all defects in materials and/or workmanship with respect to the improvements performed by Brennan Construction Company under said contract C-242 for a period of 1 year in form acceptable to Town Council. I offer this resolution as read.
Seconded.
Seconded by Councilman Schneider. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
I don't want my vote to be a reflection of Brennan Construction Company because, as far as I'm concerned, they're one of the best around and run by one of the best people around. But when we ask our experts to weigh back on this, and they send us pages of information saying why we shouldn't do it, I have to vote no because this is going to open up a can of worms down the road, and you're going to see it probably in the next 2 or 3 meetings, that a flood is going to start coming in asking for the same thing. So I'm voting no, but it has no reflection at all on Brennan Construction.
Councilman Schneider?
I will reiterate those words. There's no reflection upon the contractor. They do exceptional work, but the premise behind it is only going to open up the door going forward. So I'm going to vote no as well.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes, we've
Counsel-
done it in the past.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes, I I spoke with our counsel and asked if there was any problems doing this, and he said no. So I'm relying on our counsel with it, and I'll vote yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes. Yes, motion carried, 3 yes and 2 noes. Okay, next resolution, number 7, is a resolution authorizing payments for repairs. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read 7?
Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel, acting as commissioners of the various water and sewer districts of the Town of Carmel, and upon the recommendation of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, hereby authorizes the following payments for repairs performed within the reference districts. There's 3 columns. I'm going to read the vendor name, then the service and the district, and then the dollar amount. There's 3 items. The first item, all makes pumps and motor repair, Yorktown Heights, New York. It was for Carmel Sewer District Number 2. It was a grinder pump repair. The invoice was September 19th, 2019, for $5,180. The second item, all makes pumps and motor repairs, Yorktown Heights, New York. It was for Carmel Sewer District Number 2, grinder pump purchase, the second grinder pump purchase, and that was invoice September 19, 2019, and that was for $5,050. The third and final item is B&J Plumbing, Mahopac, New York, Carmel Water District 4, well pump replacement invoice September 26, 2019, for $5,230.40. And be it further resolved that Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget revisions to effect payment for the aforesaid repair authorizations. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 8, is a resolution authorizing payment for professional services, Town Hall video/control room upgrades. Councilman Borelli, would you read 8, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon recommendation of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., authorizes payment of the sum of $7,687.50 to Alaska Productions, Inc., Mahopac, New York, for services rendered in connection with the Town of Carmel video room/control room updates and upgrades. And be it further resolved that Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers or modifications required to fund the cost of this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
No.
Seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 9, is a resolution authorizing award of contract for the purchase of bulk road salt, Town of Carmel Highway Department. Councilman Schneider, would you read 9, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town of Carmel Highway Superintendent Michael Simone, hereby authorizes the award of bid contract for purchase of bulk road salt to the Town of Carmel Highway Department for the period commencing retroactive to September 1, 2019 through August 31st, 2020, to Morton Salt, Inc. of Chicago, Illinois, under Putnam County Officer Purchasing Contract Number PC 67022, at the price of $84.54 per ton. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Okay, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 10, is a resolution authorizing advertising for bids for Highway Department materials. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 10, please?
Shall resolve that pursuant to the request of Michael Simone, Town of Carmel Highway Superintendent, the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes Town Clerk Ann Spotford to advertise for bids for the purchase of the following items for fiscal year
Yeah, change that to
2020?
2020.
Yep.
2020. Sand, guide rail, winter mix, waste wood processing. Be further resolved that the highway superintendent is to furnish detailed specifications for the above to the town clerk to be used in conjunction with the town's general bid conditions and specifications. I offer this resolution as read.
Seconded?
Seconded by Councilman Schneider. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 11, is a resolution accepting proposal and authorizing purchase of in-place recycling Town of Carmel Highway Department. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read 11, please?
Sure, resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town of Carmel Highway Superintendent Michael Simone, hereby authorizes purchase of in-place recycling of asphalt pavement for the period of December 17th through December 1st, 2017 through November 30th, 2019, for highway rehabilitation, from Highway Rehabilitation Corp., Brewster, New York, under Putnam County bid number RFB 4117. I offer the resolution as read.
Two-year bid.
Two-year bid. Thank
Couple
you.
years ago, it's running out.
Second.
Thank you. Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 12, is a resolution releasing a bond, tax map 65.17-1-15. Councilman Borelli, would you read 12, please?
Whereas, application has been made by Carlton for the total release of bond posted in accordance with Chapter 131 and/or Chapter 156 of the Town Code regarding the property known and designated as Town of Carmel Tax Map 65.17-1-15. And whereas said applications have been reviewed by the Planning Board and the Office of the Town Engineer, both of which have recommended the release of said bonds. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the release of the bond posted by applicant and referenced herein specifically in the amount of $6,900. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Second by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 13, is a resolution appointing counsel for small claims proceedings. Councilman Schneider, would you read 13?
Resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby appoints Joseph A. Charbonneau Esquire of 3 Star Ridge Road, Brewster, New York, as counsel for the Town of Carmel in the matters Plath versus the Town of Carmel and DeFusco versus the Town of Carmel, both pending in the Town of Carmel Justice Court, small claims part. Be it further resolved that said legal services are hereby approved at a rate of $205 per hour. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci and Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 14, is a resolution authorizing commencement of litigation. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 14, please?
Sure, resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes Town Council Gregory L. Fulchetti, 1875 Route 6, Carmel, New York, to commence litigation pursuant to Article 78 of the Civil Practice Law and Rules and/or Article 30 of the Civil Practice Law and Rules with respect to the establishment, fixing, and/or the imposition of rates, charges, fees, etc., for the use of water from Lake Lenita by Carmel Water District Number 2 and/or its ratepayers. Said litigation to include the City of New York, State of New York, and any other party necessary for such proceedings as defendants and/or respondents. And be further resolved, the Town Council is hereby authorized to withdraw the Town of Carmel and the Carmel Water District Number 2 pending party status petition in the administrative proceeding before the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation regarding upstate water rates imposed by the New York City Water Board, known as OHMS, case number 1671203. And be further resolved that such services are hereby authorized at a rate of $205 per hour. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Schneider. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, so who just, Susie,
just
you just
read.
read that?
I just
You read
read
that?
it.
All right, I apologize. Okay, Resolution 15 is a resolution amending the October 2nd, 2019 resolution accepting a proposal for special counsel. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read 15?
Whereas on October 2nd, 2019, the Town Board engaged the law firm of Cozen O'Connor for this, as set forth in the October 2nd, 2019 resolution accepting proposals for special counsel. And whereas Town Supervisor Kenneth Schmidt has recommended that Susie McDonough act as town representative with respect of oversight and direction of the engagement, and whereas Suzanne McDonough is the Deputy Town Supervisor. Now therefore be it resolved that the aforesaid resolution is amended nunc pro tunc, I hope I pronounced that right, to designate Deputy Town Supervisor Suzanne McDonough as the town's client's representative and point of contact for the engagement, subject to further action by the board. I offer this resolution as read and pre-filed with the town clerk.
Seconded.
All right, second for discussion. I just have a question with respect to this particular resolution. This is very unusual that the board is voting on this by resolution. Councilwoman McDonough is my deputy supervisor, and I have designated over the years other assignments or other requests for her to handle particular issues within the town that I wasn't able to handle, or wasn't because of my calendar or what have you. So it's unusual that we're designating the deputy supervisor by resolution to handle this particular matter, and I'm just curious as to what precipitated this and why are we doing it by resolution when I could have just, I simply asked Deputy Supervisor McDonough to handle this matter because I wasn't comfortable with it, because I abstained with this particular Cozen O'Connor law firm because of the costs associated with in their proposal. And that was the only reason why, and I felt that it would benefit everyone involved if the Cozen O'Connor law firm attorneys dealt directly with Councilwoman McDonough. There would be more value to that, I believe, than dealing directly with me. And I didn't think that that was something that was unusual, or I didn't think that was a request that would have required that be done by resolution. So I'm a little puzzled by this, that we're doing this by resolution, where in the past, I've just asked Susie to handle something, and she gladly did agree to handle it. So why we're doing it by resolution, can one of the three board members or can somebody explain to me why this needed a resolution as opposed to you just agreeing to handle it? What changed that we have to do it by resolution? Maybe somebody can answer that?
Special
If they can.
counsel sent it to us, based on your email to the attorney. After you sent that email recommending that Susie takes over, he sent in the resolution. So we're going based on what
When-
special counsel recommended. That's
All
all.
right, well, there's
And the
no,
resolution kind of reiterates what your email says.
yeah, there was really nothing in my email that I felt would have triggered Cozen O'Connor law firm to prepare a resolution to do this.
Maybe
So,
they're just thorough,
I just don't like the fact, and I'm gonna be honest with everybody, I don't like the fact that a Manhattan law firm, Park Avenue law firm, is dictating what we've done around here for years. They're kind of dictating what we should be doing and shouldn't be doing, and I don't like that. I've never had to do this before. Since I've been here for 12 years, I've always asked the deputy supervisors, and there was no issue with them handling it. Why that law firm wants this done by resolution, I can only speculate, and I don't know really why 100%. They're not here to really respond to that, but the email that I sent out that John is referencing is, and I'm going to read it because I authored it, so I can read it. Good morning, all. Mr. Van Orden, let me clarify my not engaging in communication with the Cozen O'Connor law firm. You would have a greater benefit and value, as I said, with respect to the Borelli matter by communicating directly with Deputy Supervisor McDonough. Let me explain further. When the vote was taken by the town board to engage the Cozen O'Connor law firm regarding this matter, I, for the record, abstained when the vote was taken. The record will reflect that. Hence the greater value speaking with Deputy Supervisor McDonough. Which I guess that was probably the reason why they felt, because John, you said this, that we should do this by resolution.
The email literally came like half an hour later. Like you sent your email and then he took your name off it because you didn't want it, and she was a point of contact, and that resolution or a draft of that came, and then they reworded it. So it came, I think your email stemmed their firm to send that.
Okay.
I didn't talk to
And I
them.
know
All right,
we've never done it before
we've never done that
also,
before, no.
And like you said, anytime you've ever asked, I done it,
You've
with
always
absolutely no
accommodated
problem.
without it.
So I'm just assuming that this law firm does that, I know I did not approach them, or I don't think anybody did, I think it was just that.
I just
Yeah.
honestly, I think it has really no value, other than you're memorializing it by resolution, which is fine, but you would have done it anyway.
I would have done it anyway,
Without the
exactly.
resolution, so I'm not really sure
Correct.
about that.
Yeah.
And it just bothers me a little bit.
I can share you my opinion. They came forth and they said, here's the resolution to do it. I'm not about to, I always say, let the professionals do it. I'm not about to start second guessing them, because all it does is, to your point, it memorializes the email that you put forth. So to me, I don't find it bad or wrong, and they're just maybe a very thorough firm that you said you didn't want to do it, so they said, okay, here's a resolution
All right.
to do it. I'm not about to start, I'll talk with them, they didn't call me on that, they didn't, I got that email, I think, when everyone else got it, saying, here's the resolution.
When was that?
I'd have to see, I'm gonna say, was it today or yesterday? When did you send your email? It was literally, it
I
was probably
sent-
30 minutes after you sent your email, so what's the date on your email?
Well, I didn't, to be honest with you, October 15th, Tuesday, October
Tuesday.
15th.
So yesterday morning.
At 10:32 a.m.
What
But I
was it?
didn't get anything from them at all regarding that there was a resolution that they were preparing. I didn't get a copy of this resolution until 3:45 this afternoon. So if they did send that out.
Because I think they sent it to Jonathan, Susie, because you asked not to be, she's the point contact, and then they
No,
also
no,
sent
that-
it, I believe they sent it to Annie.
I think that's where I think there was a misinterpretation of what I asked for and what I didn't ask for. I think there was some confusion with that. As the town supervisor, I might not agree with I don't agree with Cozen O'Connell Law Firm handling this matter, all right? But I think as the town supervisor, I do want to be kept abreast of how this inquiry or / investigation is proceeding forward. I think it's not unreasonable for me to ask that, all right? I'm signing their checks. I didn't designate you as the official signer of their checks. So I'm signing their checks, I'm signing their vouchers, and I think I should be kept in the loop. And it almost feels like I'm being taken out of the loop for some reason, and that's not what I asked for. I only asked for you to be at the point of contact with them, and that's fine, but I would really like to know how this investigation or inquiry is proceeding for my own edification as the town supervisor. I don't think that's unreasonable, all right? I'm not saying, I think I should be in the loop on this, all right, and in the know. I understand why Councilman Borelli wouldn't be, all right, but there's no reason why I can't be. And that's all I'm asking for.
I'd
all
like
right?
to
And I
add
just
something
want-
in when you're done, Ken.
All right, and I just want that, an understanding from my colleagues on the board, is that you're not trying to alienate me or purposely, keep me out of the process or out of the loop. That wouldn't be fair, Do you guys agree?
Yeah, no, my interpretation was you wanted to be hands-off, but if you want to have the information, I don't see, you're right, you are the supervisor, there's no reason you shouldn't at least have the info. My interpretation from your original email was, I don't want communication with them, so that's where I took it from.
But then your second email
It did
clarified.
clarify that, right. So
yeah.
I would recommend call up the attorneys and say, hey, guys, I just want to know if there's any misinterpretation on my
Well,
email.
Susie could do that, since she's the point person per your request and per this.
Yeah, no, I want to make sure that we're all on
But
the
sure,
same
we can get
page
on the
and
same
we just
page.
have all the information. It's,
We can get on the same page.
Yeah,
Again,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm, if I need edification on something, I will call them. And that's why I'm not, but I'm not gonna second guess every single, I don't second guess every single time Greg does something, or Joe Charbonneau does something, or Jackson Lewis does something.
No, but-
Because I'm not an attorney.
But guys-
So if they're thorough and that's how they operate, that's how I interpret it.
But this resolution, no offense to anyone, all right, probably cost us at least $1,000 to do. At least $1,000 or maybe more, all right, because an attorney prepared this, all right? And I'm sure there were.
Or a paralegal, we don't know.
All right, but it
I
costs
hear
money
you.
to do this, and
Yeah.
that's my point is, we've never done it before, and why was it necessary in this particular matter? I don't think it was necessary, it just cost the taxpayers more money.
Can I
That's
add
all.
something, can I add something there,
All
Ken?
right, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. For the 20-some-odd years that I've stood on that side of the podium, the one thing that brought my antennas up all the time was something that was added on the agenda at the 12th hour. And if this was, and for the record, tonight, I should have been sitting in Yankee Stadium. And Kenny had an appointment in Lower Manhattan. We were not supposed to be here. All right? This was added on 3, 4 o'clock today. So let the public take it for what it's worth. I'm going to tell you what I think what it is. It's like a cheap South American coup on their leader. It's disgraceful. So let's just proceed along. And I would hope that whoever's in this audience every week would ask the question, how much was spent to date? And why did the town ask the agencies to stop reviewing my file? That's the question to ask every week. Thank you.
Because the DEP has issued a violation against the town. So we stop.
No. You, the town engineer was directed by this board to stop working with the DEP.
Until special counsel was hired. That's what the emails are. That's what the emails
So are
state.
you saying now
Correct. Yes,
DEP
yes.
should be going
That's what
ahead?
they say.
Are you saying right now that DEP should be reviewing the file?
DEP can now talk to our special counsel because they're representing us.
Okay. Thank you.
And I believe the special counsel reached out to them.
Mike, it should be, the DEP review of your application should be ongoing. It should continue. Because unless that continues, this is gonna continue.
Well,
And that's my biggest concern. I think they need to,
my answer's coming next week.
okay, all right. Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that, all right, just so the public understands that Kenny Schmidt, your supervisor, is not part of this inquiry or investigation. I wanted to clear that up, because in case anybody has that perception or that belief that, oh, why is Kenny not, this resolution,
No, you want to clarify.
I want to
without
clarify
a
that,
doubt.
that
Yep.
that's not the case. But I didn't want the public perception to be that, well, maybe there is something, maybe that's why Kenny doesn't want to be involved in this, maybe he's taking the fifth.
Yeah, no,
Which
no,
I'm
and
not
and
doing.
you, and
No,
you've
but-
never
and
taken
I'm
the
not-
fifth.
I don't
I
wanna-
never have.
and what I'm about to say is
No.
not a reflection of you taking the fifth, but I said it before and it was quoted in the newspaper. Everyone's citing that how expensive this law firm is. If anything impedes the investigation, or tries to stall, or hinder, or block the investigation from anybody, that will cause the cost to go up. And that's gonna be just as equal of a cause of the cost as if we hired a $300 law firm, a $500 law firm, or an $800 an hour law firm. If you impede or block any type of investigation, that's gonna cause extra money.
Exactly.
If there's nothing to hide, and we have all the answers, then I said it last week or when we passed it on the 2nd. Let's just move forward.
Move on.
And cooperate with special counsel, cooperate with all the other agencies, and we move forward.
But what I brought up was, you, the town of Carmel, directed your town engineer to stop working with the DEP. I've seen it in writing, I read it, I understand it perfectly, and it's very, very clear. So when you direct your town engineer to not continue his job, and you have a law firm that averages $500 an hour, I think they're gonna make a lot of money. So I think every Wednesday, somebody should ask what the, Ms. McDonough and you two want to pay for.
So you want to tell the taxpayers that the town is going blind, without special counsel, without legal representation, and we should work with all the high official, outside agencies without legal representation and just let our engineer handle this, who you on that podium has
Not
bashed
at
that
all.
engineer and
You're absolutely
said,
right.
so,
No, not
so
at
we
all.
should go blindly and let the engineer do whatever he wants to do,
No,
and
no.
we don't have legal representation or legal understanding.
That wasn't the
But that's-
statement. The
that's-
statement is if the DEP asked the town engineer for something, the DEP should get it. And you shouldn't hide behind a very expensive Manhattan law firm.
I'm not hiding behind anything.
Somebody is.
I want them to investigate.
Okay.
That's all. not even to investigate, I want them to represent us. That's what I want. I want representation with the DEP citing that we're violating the 1939 or 38 and our wastewater treatment agreement.
Can I just ask something? Who's gonna monitor this law firm to make sure that they're not deliberately delaying a resolution for this whole matter? How do we know they're not? They're a Manhattan law firm. We don't know them. But how do we know that what they're doing is gonna wrap this up, in an expeditious manner?
How do I know?
How do we know that?
How do I know any agency's gonna
But-
not do
but
that?
they're-
How do I know anybody on this board's gonna do that? How do I know, like, Mr. Borelli in this as a private citizen has 8 inches of paper. If there's every answer there, we could resolve this, done. He stated, so let's get this going, and we'll go from there. I mean, Kenny, you're asking, again, the engineer should, the comptroller should, the board members should. Mr. Borelli's asking the public in the audience to do exactly what you're asking. You as the chief financial officer should, even though you don't want to be the point person, but you want to be in the know, well, then you as the chief financial officer should also take a look at the bills and talk about it. But you got to look at the drivers of the bills. Are they doing something, or is another party amongst the government agencies or the party that's being investigated, are they stalling or are they causing extra costs? Again, if 8 inches of paper, 100 times, he handed it up and told it, if there's every answer there, Kenny, this is an open and shut case and it's wonderful. I don't know, Mr. Borelli just said that we're hiding behind something. No, if there's every answer there, let's go. Let's get this done in a week, 2 weeks. Let's just get it done. If there's every answer in that, let's just get it done. We put it to bed. No?
Good, I hope so. I hope it's done sooner than later.
Me
Because
too.
I don't want to spend $40,000 on
Me
this.
too.
40 is going to be a starting point.
I don't think any of us wants to spend the money. I
But
just
how-
don't, but, again, if all of the information is there, it could have probably already been resolved. Okay, and
It's not, Suzie, you know I respect you.
Yeah, and I
And
respect
I
you.
named you my deputy supervisor, there's a reason why, all right?
Mm-hmm.
My concern is, I'll say it again, this is a Manhattan law firm.
Right.
All right, who did this to us, who did this, all right, which has never been done before. They had the gall to do this. This is a slap in my face as the town supervisor. They did this without me knowing about it. They didn't disclose that. You guys may have known about it, but I didn't,
And
all right?
you- and you
I
weren't supposed to
think
be here
moving
tonight.
forward now that we know that you want to be part of it, okay? That you just want me to be the point person, but you want to be kept in the loop per se, then it changes, but with the
Mm-hmm.
emails, like John said, they probably just assumed, or not even assumed, they took it as that you didn't want it,
They would be
okay?
making a terrible
But-
mistake assuming anything I do.
Yeah, so what I suggest, and what I've always suggested, is let's get this done. Let's everybody stop the bickering and the fighting and the disrespect, and let's start respecting each other and get it done in a positive way, as fast as we can with getting the answers. We all just want to get the answers, okay? And we want to move forward, all right?
As
This
quick
is-
as possible.
As quick as possible, because this is such a
agree.
wonderful town, and we have so many other wonderful things to do in it. So if, just let everybody positively participate in resolving this matter. That's all. That's all I want. That's all I want. And I'm glad you spoke about this too.
Can you do me a favor?
Yes,
Tomorrow,
yes.
ask Cozen O'Connor, the attorneys that are involved in this, ask them for chronological order, a process, a procedure of where this is gonna go, where they're, how this investigation, they're calling it an investigation, how is that gonna proceed? In what order? Do they start here, then go to here, to here, to here? At what point, how do we know, what the chronology
An
is?
outline and an estimate.
That's just the investigation, like you're saying, but they also represent us in handling, like, again, the town is in violation of the DEP. They issued the letter to you. The two reporters have a report on that. they also, besides an investigation, they also have to take a look at our town code, the alleged violation, and represent the town. So I agree with you
get
also
rid of
that you
the
should be part of
violation.
that also,
Yeah.
because it's not just the everyone keeps harping on the investigation. They are special counsel representing the town on this matter. One aspect is an investigation of how it happened and what happened. The other is that we should be answering something to the DEP on the violation that they're claiming against us. So I guess maybe I'm saying it, there has to be two parallel paths.
Yeah.
There has to be, like you're saying, chronological of the investigation, but then they also should point out what they have to do by
How to
talking
resolve
to, with the violation. So it's two-pronged.
Yeah.
You might not want to hear that because the two-prong is adding to the activity of it, but to be full and complete, that's what we want to have. So I'm not arguing with you.
No.
I'm saying one aspect and we need it on the other aspect.
I just, because we're not familiar with them, I'm not familiar with them, the town's not familiar with them, I don't want them deliberately dragging their heels or dragging their feet on this matter, all right, for benefit and gain for the profit line of their firm. All right,
But
that's my
also-
concern.
I understand,
and-
but let's
and
also give them the benefit of the doubt.
We are, I know.
Let them be guilty of that before we just start
Okay,
going out
I'm
and
not-
saying that
I
they're
know, I
gonna
didn't-
milk us and overbill us.
Well, somebody's got to watch it. Somebody has to make sure they're not doing that. That's all I'm saying. And, all right. I think I said enough on this topic. I really have. I got out what I wanted to say, and you guys got out what you wanted to say. And I think we're okay from there. So moving forward, you understand that I'm not
Yeah,
to be boxed out from this by you
Yep.
guys. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Kenny, just, I didn't ask them to do this resolution so you're boxed out. They saw two correspondence from you, or three, one from Annie, and they were a little contradictory, and then when you clarified your last one, which, if you read that email and look at this resolution, it kind of goes step by step.
Yeah.
But, so I mean, we could say we're concerned because they're complete and thorough, and I understand your point, we've never done it back, but again, this is our special counsel that we hired, and if they're thorough, there was no intent, I can tell you right now, there was no intent. I didn't call them and ask for this. When your first email came out, if you remember, I replied to the email
did.
saying, don't be surprised if this type of a law firm now says, because of the investigation side, comes out and says by resolution, like because you said you wanted no part of it, then you clarified what it was. I mean, and you and I were texting saying, Kenny, I'm confused, and then I said, now I understand what you want. You want to be in the know, because you should be, but you don't want to be the point person. I mean,
Right, agreed. No, I just don't want this designation by resolution to be the norm around here. If I ask Susie to do something, to
I
handle
agree.
something, we don't have to do it by resolution.
don't ever write a resolution.
I would say this situation is hopefully very out of the norm for everything
Yeah.
going forward.
Take the pass
right now.
I am, if you don't know by now, I'm a very, I have a lot of pride. I'm a principled guy, and I'm also stubborn, all right?
No.
no.
All right? Call
I'm
me
glad you
thick-headed,
said what you
call me
said.
stubborn, but this is how I feel, and I don't mind saying how I feel, because rather than me not saying how I feel, I'd rather you guys all know about it, so thank you.
Yep.
For indulging me. Okay. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Abstain?
I know, great kid, but I don't think he could, I think because it's a matter against him and he's part of the investigation, shouldn't he be recused? Because
Right.
it's a conflict of interest there, and I'm not trying to say, we keep saying abstain, and the last vote, you put down abstain. He should recuse himself.
No, I think the last vote, he did
That's what
recuse
I
himself.
No, I
We
know,
use
you
the word
recused, but except
interchangeable.
on the resolution, it
Yeah,
says
but
abstain.
that's what we use,
Yeah, I'm
abstain
sorry, I
and
meant recuse myself.
recuse are the same thing. We've never,
Oh, sorry, my fault. I thought recuse was, I'm not
No,
voting. An
it-
abstention is,
Same
I'm
thing.
not voting yes or no. Recuse says I'm out of it. At least that's
We-
my understanding from
The
the zoning
abstention
board
is
days.
just you're not participating in the process at all.
That's what I thought.
What was?
Recuse
Yeah,
is you're
no,
not
the abstention.
participating.
I'm not participating.
An abstention is a vote.
I'm not participating.
Abstention,
I recuse myself.
so we're,
abstention is
so
not a
I'm
vote.
going to, it's an abstention. He
Yes,
abstained.
abstention is a declination
He's
of the
recusing.
opportunity to vote.
Okay, I just
recusing.
said them all.
Wait.
You could say either one.
You can say either one. Okay, now you can say
Abstention is
either one.
fine.
Okay.
And
Now
that's
I
what-
got an education.
Historically, I've always recorded it as abstain.
And I
Okay.
agree
So what
with
are you
that. I
recording
agree
this
with that
as?
recording.
An
I think that's
abstain.
accurate.
Can I have the zoning board
Abstain.
told us to recuse?
Okay,
because you're
Who's it up to?
quasi-judicial, and it's different.
Okay. Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
See that?
Councilman
Little line.
Lupinacci?
Yes, and I just learned something from Greg.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
No, because I don't agree with it. And I'm not going to go into it again. So,
Thank you for clarifying, though, and hopefully
Yes.
tomorrow we could get
Yeah.
a much better open communications
Yeah.
that
Did I
you're
clarify
not on the
that?
outside.
Yes.
Absolutely, because my interpretation from that first email was, don't communicate with me. And then you come back and say, okay, let me
Yeah.
clarify. So I definitely,
all right.
let's get it going forward, make sure it's
Okay.
all right, and
All right,
like
good.
everybody else says, let's just get the facts and get this behind us.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So that concludes the agenda items for this evening's town board voting meeting. Is there any members of the public who'd like to come up on agenda items only at this time? Come on up. Okay, there being none, I'm going to open up the floor to general public comment. This is the new business open forum portion of the meeting. If you'd like to come up and comment to the board with this, come on up at this time.
Keep this one out so I can.
Hi, good evening, everybody. How we doing? Doing good?
Hi, Gene.
Hi, Jean Hopper. Can we hear this okay? Is this all right, the
We can,
microphone?
yeah.
Okay. Just a quick question. I wanted to know about, you had the Shred-It event where you were shredding
Yes,
the, so how successful was that?
Almost 4 tons.
Wow.
Almost 4 tons of paper, documents.
Of 3 boxes
2
each
trucks.
added up to 4 tons?
Yeah, we almost filled up, well, it
Wow.
was steady.
That's a
It
lot.
was steady from 9 to about 11:30, then it lightened up a little bit, then it picked up around 12:15. We had cars out on Croton Falls Road waiting to come in.
Wow, that's good.
So it
So
wa- it
do you
was a
think the town
huge-
would repeat that?
That's good.
What's that?
Do you think the town would repeat it?
Oh, I think
It
so,
was
yeah.
successful
I
enough to
hope so,
repeat?
because I missed it.
It was, John missed it, I know he was gonna
Oh,
bring
you
some.
missed it?
Yeah, Gene, we're gonna do it in the spring again?
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
Probably-
twice a year.
Probably the May, yeah, April, May, probably May, early May timeframe. Like e-waste, we're doing e-waste again on November 2nd.
Right.
So, same location. I do have, I'll make that announcement when it comes time for announcements, but, yeah, we're gonna do it again.
I know you're good at making those announcements and letting people know that. So that was important. And I'm curious, you know, I had read something about volunteers that were there, and I was wondering when that was requested. When did you post that you needed or wanted
I didn't.
volunteers?
I didn't post that anywhere. People called me, they contacted me and asked me if they can help out.
Okay.
And my answer was, yeah, if you'd like to help out, be there at 9 o'clock.
Because I think the public would always want to know whenever the town needs our help, myself included, everyone's very willing to volunteer and help out. So as you mentioned, it's hard when you're shut out of something like that, because I
Yeah.
had seen that, people volunteered, but I did not. So I don't even know when it was requested. And it's not nice to be unfair.
I don't think it was meant to be a shutout. We've never done it before.
No, I understand that.
Usually,
No, it
usually it's
wasn't.
like dry ice, there's a request,
Yeah,
but
dry
the-
ice.
the
Right.
vendor was handling it, so
Yes.
if any residents came to offer a hand, they came on their own.
They did.
Right,
They-
okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that if we're asking for volunteers, the, community
Yeah,
is
no,
well
I-
aware of it.
no,
But
Just to
I
be
could tell you
fair
when
and,
we
like you
do-
said, principled,
Yeah.
right?
Gene, when we do dry ice and water, we will be asking for
Yeah.
volunteers.
Yeah, no, that I
Everybody
know.
broke their backs.
Yeah. Thanks. Well, thanks,
Gene,
guys.
I'm going to announce now, when we have the e-waste day and the shredded day in the spring, you're welcome to come and help out.
Okay.
Here's
We'd
a,
love
I
to have
probably
you
will be there.
there. Okay.
Yeah, I'll know about it
Love to have
then.
you there, all right.
here's
Thanks,
here's a
guys.
question.
Wear a mask though, because one of those dumpsters
Oh,
last
my
time
God.
was, wear a mask.
Yeah, for the e-waste, yeah, it was the dumpster they delivered was just nasty. It was bad.
Ken, I think that's actually a great recommendation. We have so many different events that go on at the town between our Parks and Rec. We have all different organizations that work. Is there a way we could possibly get something on our advanced website? I know you're not a fan of me telling you that I think we could do more on the website. Can't we have a volunteer opportunity link right there on our front page? And why not offer it to our not-for-profits that are in town too? If you have some event that you need volunteers at, maybe it's a good way to just start getting. And yeah, that's true. I mean, if we could put links for the organizations with the link to where they can contact, I think maybe on a calendar, it's a great opportunity to get a lot more people involved. I know on the civic side, it's difficult to find opportunities unless you're involved in a group that specifically organizes these opportunities. So I think it's a good idea. I know kids are always looking for their community service at the schools. We have scouts always looking for their community service, and we have residents always looking to help out. So I think it would be a great idea. volunteer opportunity.
I know it. I need volunteers on November 16th for the Veterans Thanksgiving dinner.
You know you have, me and
So-
Bella, you know you have that
So
for
whoever
sure.
wants to do that, contact me.
Let me put that on here. You can, two, morning and
Right.
afternoon.
All right, is there anyone else for new business open forum? Roger?
It's a month from today.
First of all, I want to thank,
Roger,
pull the mic.
Roger, pull the mic up a little bit towards you.
sorry,
They won't even hear you on TV if you...
Just loosen that up, that, all right.
You
I'll
just
find a
take.
way to make it work. I just wanted to thank Councilman Barilli for the little laugh on the abstain and recuse. It was the highlight of my day, which means I'm having a pretty lousy day. But just wanted to touch base to see if you folks can give us an update on what's going on with the airport park and the water situation over there. I know there's been multiple meetings. We've had meetings with the rec committee. The MSA itself has been meeting up there to try to figure out, how we're going to handle our leg of the project. We're, concerned that, this has been going on for, there's been work in earnest, I guess, on the park for over a year at this point, and we haven't resolved a very crucial component of the park. And it doesn't appear that, we're getting into the winter months. I don't know if there's going to be an ability to get anything put in place at this particular point in time. We have a situation where we have board members leaving, new board coming on board, right? The five of you have been working on this project, I guess, and know the project. We'd hate to see it, be slowed down because we're trying to get two new board members up to speed. There's been a lot of concern in the community and just looking for somebody to give us some direction and let us know where the project is headed, particularly since maybe 75%, 80% of the work has probably already been done. The seed is in the ground. Just
Grass is growing.
looking for some direction. We've gotten lucky. I don't like to rely on luck to
Yeah.
do these things, but it is
Roger,
growing.
I can just speak for myself. I am still waiting for more information. You're talking about for a permanent water source, correct? Or you're
Yeah.
talking
Well,
about the
we-
whole
we-
entire project?
We have a temporary
Yeah, we have
water
the
source,
temporary.
right? But my understanding is that that's temporary
temporary.
at this point in time.
Correct, yeah.
And my understanding is that there's supposed to be investigation of some of these other, potential other sources.
Right, and
And
I'm-
when we were at the Recreation Committee meeting, was it the first Thursday in October?
Correct.
I think there was discussion about there was going to be some
Yeah,
work put out to bid. I don't know that it has been
put.
put out to bid, but,
As-
I'm not.
I'm not aware of anything regarding the permanent water solution going out to bid because I myself have not received all of the information to make a decision. I don't know, the rest of the board members can
No,
talk about it.
I'm sorry if I wasn't clear. Let me clarify. I think that there was conversation that there had to be some additional investigation or some additional testing done at the existing well on the golf course. During that meeting, we had that conversation.
Right, yeah.
And my understanding was that there was going to be some type of a bid put out for the work that was deemed necessary for that investigation, and I'm curious as to whether that has happened.
I don't think it's a bid. It's Jimmy was gonna give a proposal from Beal, I think it's Beal.
The Beal,
Well, I don't know what the company name is. The well,
Yeah.
company named Beal, and.
PF Beal.
PF Beal.
PF Beal.
And Sons Artesian Wells. He was gonna put a proposal together and put it forth so we could vote and put it out there. But I think it's under the threshold that Jimmy could just do that. I don't think he has to bring it to the board
Right,
for
but
for that dollar amount to go
Right,
out
but
there
I
and
think
do
what
it.
Roger's saying is he's asking us, has that been done?
And
To my knowledge, no.
hasn't come in front of this
I
board.
haven't gotten anything in front of the
Are
board,
we
so.
waiting for any particular
Jimmy, we're
event to have
waiting,
that happen?
we're waiting for the Director of Recreation to give us the information that we need.
And give us the information that he's gonna go out and do it, or give us the information that I went out and did it, and here's
give
the
us the
findings.
information.
Either or, we need the information from Jimmy. So the answer is we're waiting on Jimmy to give us information that he's gonna go get it done, or that he got it done, and here are the results. Because I believe it's $3,500 or $4,000, I believe, and he has it in his budget. I don't believe he needs a resolution
No.
for him to spend, under the
Under,
procurement.
under,
Under the Berkson policy, 5,000 requires a resolution.
Yeah, so if it's
Right.
under, he could
can- he can do it.
just do it, and he does that. So,
But-
so we have to reach out to Jimmy and find out the status of that.
I mean, you know, we spent time talking about timelines and, you know,
Yeah.
all those other things on these, so do we have a timeline on this? Have we discussed, have we spoken to, I know that there's engineers involved, I know that the recreation department is involved, I know that the recreation committee is involved. You know, I know that there's a board liaisons involved. Have we gotten anybody to commit to a timeline, or are we just kind of, as
Roger,
things come up, we're just kind
I-
of dealing with it?
I am waiting for the professionals and our department head to give us the information we asked for.
So how long are we going to wait?
Talk to Jimmy.
He doesn't work for me.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is the public needs to talk to Jimmy.
I
We can make a
talked to
phone
him-
call again.
I
We
talked
can
to
email him again.
Well, I did, I
think-
emailed asking exactly the
Right,
product
I
timeline
mean,
and-
it comes, you have to hold people accountable. If we're asking for information, they have to give us information. Because I have your concern too, and I've said it from day one. You're working within a time frame that this needs to get done. Otherwise, they're gonna lose a whole season, okay? And that's not what we want.
Listen,
But on the
you
other
know-
hand, Roger, I'm not a babysitter. We have department heads here that have a job to do, and they need to do it. All of our employees need to do the job. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel.
I think there's one, I think there's, you know.
I go to
one-
the recreation meetings on the first Thursday of every month, and we ask the same things that you do. We need the information.
Okay, so short of not having this information, right, is, and I don't know when the last time somebody from the board has spoken with Jim, but would there be a commitment from this board to speak to Jim and
yes,
get him?
yes.
Yes, definitely.
absolutely.
Tomorrow.
I do weekly, and I just asked Supervisor Schmidt to get involved, because some of the correspondence are coming directly to Kenny and bypassing Susie and I.
Right.
I don't think intentional, it's just the flow of information. So I just asked Kenny we need to ask Jimmy.
We need to
Timeline.
step in.
I'm gonna step in, Roger. I'll follow up tomorrow with Jim.
And-
I'll probably have him come to my
And
office.
I think, speaking, you know, to kind of echo what Councilman said before about dual tracking things or parallel tracking things, right? My understanding is that there are multiple options on the table,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Multiple. More than two.
Yes.
Right? I would hope that we're not single tracking one and trying to figure out if that's feasible, right? And then finding out maybe it's not feasible, and then we go
Then
over
go to-
here,
yeah.
right? Because I think really the way that you have to do this, right, there is the potential that all three solutions or four solutions that are out there could potentially be feasible, right? You want to find the best of the four.
Yes.
So in order, or the best of the three, whatever the number is, 5, 10, 15. In order to do that, you've got to investigate everything at the same time.
Correct.
So it can't just be the one of, that, I brought
Like a
that up
well.
because that
Yeah,
happened to be
exactly.
the one that seemed to be spoken about the most at
Yep.
that rec meeting, right?
What
But
I'm
I-
hoping, go ahead, I don't want to cut you
No,
off.
I'm just saying, you know.
I could share information. Before Dave left, the head of, not the head, the chairman of the director of the rec committee, he did share with me per phone call that he asked Jimmy to talk to the engineer to do exactly what you said. This is probably, though, a day or two ago, to dual track everything, because there's the health or quality of the quantity of the well that we're looking at. Old Reports has it extremely viable. And then there's looking at the surface water from the lake, where the lake residents have said they would like some type of biologist and conservation impact study. And what I was told from Dave was, he's asking Jimmy to get with Insight to say, get the well study, and at the same time, dual track it, go out and I think they gotta find a biologist or a conservation, I don't even know who does that type of, almost like a yield study, and the health of the lake, if we drew from the lake. I did reiterate to the public, I mean, the residents of Lake of Lake McGregor, when they asked me there to their house, I said, please keep in mind, we're only looking to draw 15, 20, 25, worst case, 1,000 gallons per day. That lake has over millions of gallons, and I also pointed out that there's no eco detriment to Lake Mahopac or Lake Glenida, where we're sucking out close to 1 million gallons a day. Glenida is what, like 860,000 a day, and you don't see fish dying or bad. And in Lake Mahopac, that does your water, and here, we're pulling out, I thought, like 700,000 gallons per day, and the DEC is putting carp in there. So the health of the lake really by pulling out water, but they'd like to see it from a professional. I understand that, because I always say let the professionals do the work. So, but the long story short is Jimmy got requested from Dave to get with the engineer and start dual tracking this, because there is, being at the meetings at the rec, going to Lake McGregor and sitting in their house talking to them, every party now, Roger viewing MSA, and even us, we're at the 12th, 13th hour. They planted seed before we had a water source. They put underground irrigation pipes in 11 acres of field of a $2.8 million park, and we're now looking to get water. And Lake McGregor's like, why are you doing it now? MSA's going, this is a beautiful park, they're biting at the bit to do things. All of us say it's gonna be a great project. Similar to Swan Cove, the airport, it's the year of the parks. So I just think I think a timeline and an understanding, and either option, if it's viable and it works, let's do it. I have a feeling, and I've already stated it, some other board members have stated it, what the easy solution and the most reasonably cost solution is, but we have to do the process. We have to go through. And Roger, I think, said in the beginning, he's a little nervous because the board's changing, and how soon do you have to get the other ones up? And I know I'm leaving, and I'm one of the rec liaisons that have been working on it for the last 18 months. So,
Roger, what I'm hoping to get is, to your point, I would like some type of a spreadsheet with the different options, the timeline of each one of them, because the timeline will make a difference of what we're gonna decide on anyway, the cost factor, just the pros and cons of every single one. That's what I'm hoping to receive, so we can make a decision, and like you say, I'm hoping to receive it sooner than later.
Right, I just, once again, we're talking about clarity, we're talking about being clear in our communications and everything. And I heard, and I hope that I'm wrong. I heard you say that, Dave is giving Jim direction.
a request,
I'm sorry?
a request.
He's
Because
giving a request.
Dave really can't give him
So
a thing,
I-
but they
I
work
was-
together, so it's a request.
Right, I understand. So I just want to be clear, right? Jim is an employee of the town, right? He falls under this board's purview.
Correct.
Right? He does not work for Dave.
Correct.
Dave is a
Volunteer.
volunteer director of a commission that I know from all the years of watching Bob Buckley jump up and down here has said that they really don't have any direct
Authoritative power.
authoritative powers, right?
Yep.
So my question is, and I think, I may be getting phone calls as soon as I leave, but I don't understand why an employee of the town who answers to this board is taking direction from a volunteer. That's the piece that bothered me this whole time. If I have an employee and I give them direction, I need you to do A, B, C, and A, B, C is not done, that has consequences, right? But in this case, we're saying, well, we have to wait for this guy to give this guy direction. I don't understand that. And the piece that's upsetting to me about it, right? I sat there through a long meeting. Gene spoke. There was a lot of people at that meeting that spoke about Lake McGregor and all those other things, and I agreed 100% with the one point that she brought up. This has been on the board for 10 years. It's been worked on in earnest probably for 2, with physical work starting over a year ago, right? And the most important piece of the puzzle still hasn't been solved for. And I don't understand how you put the first shovel in the ground without having that solved for, right? And you know, and I know, and I think Gene knows as well, that if you wait to the end to make decisions, when you make decisions with a gun to your head, they're always bad decisions. Okay?
Yep.
So forget the timeline now, right? The timeline should have been established 2 years ago before the first shovel went in the ground, okay? And I think a lot of it is because the lines are blurred between who works for who, and who's a volunteer, and who has influence over the person that's supposedly overseeing this job, okay? And I think, right, volunteers are wonderful things. My organization is run
Right.
completely on volunteers, but I've been told numerous times, you're just a volunteer, okay? Numerous times. I've heard that. I understand that.
Yep.
Okay? I think that other people need to understand that as well. I think that it needs to be clear who's running this job, right? And if the person that is running the job, whether it be the engineer, the rec, the head of rec, the board is not capable of running the job, then we should find somebody new to run the job. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Roger.
Thanks, Roger. Is there anyone else? Okay, there being none, I just want to make the e-waste drop-off day announcement. That's coming up. It's Saturday, November 2nd, at the Michael Geary Inline Memorial Rink, right across the street from the Mahopac Fire Department. Time is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., Saturday, November 2nd, so that's 2 weeks from this Saturday, right? And if you want to,
So.
if you want to see what is acceptable at that location, items for recycling, you can go on our website. This flyer is on our website. You'll be able to look at it. It lists all the e-waste items that are acceptable for you to drop off that day. It's for Town of Carmel residents only, and we ask that you provide proof of residency with you. And for more information, as I said, you can visit our website, www.carmelny.org, or call the Recreation Department, 628-7888. They helped out with the last one, and it was very successful. Or call my office at 628-1500, and we'll be able to probably be able to answer your questions as well. So get your e-waste ready to be dropped off on that date, because we're not going to have another one until the spring of 2020. So this is your opportunity to get the old e-waste that you're no longer using out of your homes. All right, so that's all I have. Anybody else have any other announcements?
I just want to say, if I'm not here the next 2 weeks, I'm apologizing now. Yankee fans will understand, so.
Don't take offense, I hope you're not here because that means they're winning.
So, we're meeting again, we'll be back here next Wednesday, October 23rd, for a town board work session.
Perfect.
All right, so we're going to close the meeting now. I need a motion to close. So moved by Councilwoman McDonough.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. All those in favor? Aye. Good night, everyone. Be well. We'll see you next week.